Okay, perfect. Namaste, guten tag, salut, hola, bonjour, and hello everyone. My name is Jay, and I'm going to talk about how to create a generative AI strategy for your company. Since last year, that is with the arrival of OpenAI, GPT-4, uh, generative AI has become quite popular. So almost all the companies are investing in some form of Gen AI, right? So GenAI can help you improve efficiency and productivity, and that's main reasons why company want to use it. So it can, for example, it can automate your repetitive task, such as data collection, data labeling, data analysis. It also helps you in creation of the content. So it can create personalized and customized content for you. That results in time and cost saving. And generative AI in general can make your content and services more accessible and inclusive, right? So that's the reason companies are kind of running behind generative AI. So let's get started. I will quickly share my screen and then just give me 1 second. Okay, so perfect. Um, okay, so agenda. So we are going to talk about where to start, how the company should basically, what are the challenges company face for uh, creating generative AI. We are going to talk about it. We are going to talk about it using a case study, and then we will look into the recipe for success. And then, if time permits, we will have a short Q&A. Um, so, small, I was spend maybe 30 seconds on about speaker. That's me. So I'm presently working in Merkle as a technology director. In the recent past, I have played multiple roles in my area of work, um, which is essentially related to solution architecture. So I have worked in many engagement as a multi-cloud solution architect. I have also done a lot of system integrations. So I have integrated Salesforce with various other systems like SAP, Oracle, and a various backend system. Um, I have worked in I have worked mostly in the area of multi-cloud architecture, but mostly sales service. I have done a couple of marketing cloud implementation as well as B2B and B2C commerce. From last 1 year, I have been advocate of AI. Um, and apart from basically creating a AI strategy, I am also vocal in terms of, how generative AI specifically could be useful in the context of CRM. Um, so before working with Merkle, in my past life, I have worked with Accenture, Deloitte, PwC, and Brilio. Um, on the AI side, I have passed both the exams available as of now. So AI Associate as well as State's Certified Data Consultant exams. Overall, I have 34 Salesforce certification accreditation. I'm also All-Star Ranger on Trailhead, and I do public speaking sometimes, mostly on the Salesforce architecture related topics. So then let's come to the next slide, which is where to start, right? Um, as I said earlier, since last year with OpenAI GPT-4, generative AI has become very popular, and many company wants to actually invest in Gen AI, but they're not very sure. Um, how should they start with? So Salesforce has also jumped onto the bandwagon last year, and this year it came up with its own Gen AI offering, right? So for the end customer, Salesforce created Einstein Copilot, which can do a lot of automation. For example, for sales user, it can summarize information for you. It can draft emails for sales rep. It can create account, contact, opportunity, lead summaries. For service users, it can generate service Basically, it can generate service replies for you. It can also create knowledge articles, which is pretty cool. On the marketing side, it can help you generate segments for your campaigns. It can also write subject lines for your marketing emails. For commerce, it can generate personalized emails. It could also write product description, which is pretty cool. It can also, on the OMS side, Salesforce OMS side, it can generate the return insights. Now, apart from this, Salesforce has introduced Einstein Copilot, even in the product like Tableau CRM, right? MuleSoft. It also have uh, Einstein GenAI features in Salesforce industry. So some of these features are live, some are in pilot, and some are planned for upcoming months. For the developers, Salesforce has come up with AI solution, which is called Einstein AI for developer. It's a productivity enhancement tool. It can basically it can be used by the developers to do a variety of tasks, including writing Apex classes that can generate code for you, generating test classes, auto completion of the code, code suggestions, best practices, etc. On the and for this, Salesforce has come up with its own large language model, which is Code Gen, right? Now, if I come back to the question, right, how should we start? So most executives are facing this challenge, how to create a GenAI strategy. So there are a lot of key questions. If you talk about these questions, essentially, so what is GenAI? How can we create a generative AI strategy? What are the skills required? Who are the people required? What are the ethical standard that generative AI? Um, should we do in pilot groups or should we do in big bang? What are the technologies available? What are business processes which could be automated or enhanced using GenAI? Or what are the part of the process which can be basically automated using GenAI? Is my data ready for, it's a big question, is my data ready for AI? Apart from the technology, what are the license requirements? What are the initial few steps? So all those questions are basically very important in the context of creating a strategy. Now, if you see a Salesforce ecosystem, especially in terms of categorization of the customers, right? So some are small, many customers are medium, medium size, and many are large scale customers, right? Now, if you talk about mid-sized companies and the large-scale companies, they are the one who tend to have more than one Salesforce product, right? So typically they start with sales and then go to service, perhaps also jump into marketing for sending the promotional transactional emails. Um, so these companies might need even more generative AI features, and that's what I said. Salesforce provide the generative AI features, essentially Einstein Copilot actions, as we will see, and many of these are standard actions, uh, which are easy to configure, um, and these features could be used. So in the last count, if I'm not wrong, there are more than 40 plus Einstein GenAI features available. So also you need to understand when you are investing in something like AI, you also want to get the return on investment, right? So you define the KPIs, which are the key KPIs which could be improved and how could you measure that? That's also important. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to talk about this in a bit more detailed way with a case study. Okay. So let's start with a case study. A fictitious company, Kumar Pharma. It's a leading pharmaceutical company. It's based in India. It also operates in various regions, including Central Europe, parts of Asia, North America. Yeah, they manufacture brand medication. They manufacture medical devices. Um, because it's a large company, they have a huge user groups. Internal user. So company uses multiple apps and technologies to run its complex operation. On the CRM side, they use Salesforce. various Salesforce products and features. On the backend side, they use SAP and along with Microsoft BI. This is a very simplified way. Typically, large company have lots of different apps, lot of different technologies and systems and databases, right? Just to simplify it, on the CRM side, they use Salesforce, and then on the backend side, they use SAP along with Microsoft BI. So on the Salesforce side, the company is using Sales Cloud for their sales need. Recently, it also started Service Cloud for customer service. So they have 4,000 users globally for sales. For service, they have 1,000 users, mostly, and also a small marketing team. So also they went live with Marketing Cloud, but with a very small team. That's a pilot. Uh, Most likely, they are going to ramp up the uh, marketing team on Marketing Cloud. Now, so if you talk about pharmaceutical company, right, they are subject to variety of laws and regulation, and that governed around, the patenting, testing, safety of the drugs, marketing of the drugs, So there are a lot of laws and regulations that are applied. Now, the company is doing well. The Kumar Pharma is actually doing well, but the pharmaceutical industry is very competitive. There are a lot of competitors, and some of those competitors, many of those competitors have already started using generative AI, right? So they have taken a lead. And Kumar Pharma CIO, Mr. Pant, he's worried that in the medium to long term, that could be determinantal to the company, right? Because Kumar Pharma is a large company. They are doing pretty well, but they are not using any form of AI at this point of time. So now one interesting thing is they have not started using AI in CRM and the related systems, right? Sales, service, marketing. They have not started using it, but they have actually done a pilot for clinical trial and investigation, which was basically a custom built AI solution using Microsoft technologies, Microsoft tools for AI. Um, but they did not see any results. So the initiative, the pilot did not go anywhere, right? So this basically made the top executive frustrated, right? Um, for them, there's a lot of information available. I mean, if you talk about custom AI, you talk about Amazon, AWS. You talk about AWS AI portfolio. You have Microsoft tech stack. You have Google, and then there are a lot of other companies available. So there is a lot of tools available, good technology available, but there's no clear path which can take them to success. Same is with CRM. So with that, uh, let's quickly jump into how they can basically create a generative AI strategy. Um, Quick note on the tech stack, as I said, sales, service, marketing. Integration layers MuleSoft. External systems are SAP HANA and other SAP products. Power BI, Microsoft Power BI is for analytics. They also do reporting in sales and service, but majority of the users basically use Power BI for global reporting, and they have built custom AI earlier. Now, so Mr. Pant, the CIO, what do you want to know? He want to understand how a good generative AI strategy could be created, right? And we are here to help him. So, what is the recipe for success? So, we are going to talk about uh, the different steps that Kumar Pharma can take to implement generative AI for their business. Now, first thing first, and you might have already heard it before, always start with the business process, right? In many CRM projects or AI project, we start with the technology. And there is a data statistics, I think 67% or something like that. It might be a little old data, but most of the CRM projects fail, and the reason they fail is that they have very good technology, but they do not have a strategy in place, or they do not start at the business process, or they do not have the right set of people who can implement it, right? So always start with the business process. Now, when we talk about business process, let's take an example of lead to cash, right? So L2C process, a common process. When we are talking about Salesforce multi-cloud journeys, we are talking mostly in the context of L2C, right? So we're talking about sales cloud, service cloud, revenue cloud, marketing cloud, perhaps also community cloud, because then you covered end-to-end L2C processes, right? So what are the L2C processes? You have lead generation, you have lead qualification, you have lead nurturing, you have opportunity life cycle, you have creation of the sales code, it goes through the life cycle, you create a proposal, you submit the proposal to the customer. If customer is happy, then negotiations start, contracting, billing and invoicing, payment collection, fulfillment and delivery, customer service and support, right? So lead to cash process itself is a lengthy process, right? Now you need to really think, what are the pain points in your process? You might have Salesforce ecosystem or some other system which basically take cares of this lengthy process. But the point is this, that you need to understand what are the pain points in these process, and you need to understand the use cases. So you bring good people who knows Salesforce AI, they understand which are the Einstein co-pilot actions are available and where they can fit, right? So for example, a multi-cloud architect or a multi-cloud AI expert, right? He or she basically knows technology well, right? Where exactly this fits. But he or she also understand the business process where these Einstein Copilot action, or your custom actions, or Einstein AI feature fits, right? So if you're a large company, as I said, you are using multiple tools and system for lead to cash process, but you need to review the business process. So try to understand which part of the business process could be improved by using AI. You need to understand the challenges facing your business people. You might have to do a workshop and find the pain points, or if you already know the pain points, you can figure it out and then basically suggest what features could be used. Couple of examples I would give is, for example, during the lead to cash process for lead generation and opportunity, wherever there is a customer touch point or any even internal touch point, right? Sales rep or the other persona have to write emails. Yeah. For example, they might have to write an introduction email. They might have to write a product promotion email or a product demo email or follow-ups, right? So now you can use Gen AI to use basically to create these emails, to draft the emails. You don't necessarily ask AI to send the email. You can create a draft, see it, change it, and then send it, right? So you can make Gen AI to make sales rep lives a bit easier, lives a bit easier, so that they can focus on closing the deals rather than writing long emails. Just one example. Another example could be usage of opportunity scoring. Yeah, opportunity scoring is not new. Salesforce already have opportunity scoring from I think 5-6 years. But the point is that opportunity scoring could be used to prioritize the opportunity based on variety of the factors. Of course, old data, sales stages, historical data, close dated, close won, So the with opportunity scoring or lead scoring, your sales rep would focus on the important things, right? So with opportunity scoring, important deals, for example. So in a nutshell, the process first, AI second approach is the best way to start. Now with that, so Mr. Pant, who is a CIO, agrees with this, and he basically thinks that this is the right approach, right? So always start with the business process and then try to put the technology into it, right? That way your process would be improved using AI. Okay, then security and ethical usage of AI. Now, this topic is for everyone. This topic is not only for the people who are technical or people who are functional or the, let's say, sales rep or marketing rep or service rep for whom you are basically rolling it out, right? So it's basically applicable for all of your teams. So you have your salespeople, you have your business people, you have your architects, you have your developers, you have your testers, you have your uh, training people, you have your sales rep, marketing, or whoever, right? So everyone should understand the ethical use of security and ethical use of AI. Now, when we talk AI in general, We talk about privacy, we talk about security, we talk about model bias, we talk about toxicity, we talk about hallucination, we talk about conversational AI leakage, right? These are the topics typically we talk when we talk about the security and ethical part of generative AI or AI in general. So the question from the CIO is, how safe is Salesforce GenAI, and what measure Salesforce take to tackle security and ethical issues? Now, if you see this diagram, this is a life cycle of a prompt. Yeah. So somebody, a sales user, for example, give a prompt, right? He asked a question or asked something to be done by Einstein Copilot. The data is securely retrieved, and then dynamic grounding is added. So essentially, you retrieve this information from the Salesforce record if required. If it's a confidential data, you mask the data, and then you send it to the large language model. And we will talk about large language model. What are the options available? Then this is sent to large language model. Large language model basically produces an outcome, right? So for example, you ask, okay, draft me a product demo email, yeah, by a sales rep, and then it goes through this process. The data is sent to large language model. It produces an output in form of the email. You know, if there is a sensitive information that is demasked now, okay, then toxicity of the email is in the for example this example, right? Email uh, is detected and removed if something has to be done. If you're also using data cloud, the audit trial feature would be used to log, and maybe at the later stage you can get a feedback, and then the response is displayed. This is pretty fast. In probably 10-15 seconds you get a result back to the user, right? But so as you can see, there are multiple features available. So you have dynamic grounding. So with dynamic grounding, you are retrieving the relevant information from the Salesforce record, and it is merged to a prompt. So you're providing the context. Then you have the secure data retrieval. That means the prompt basically obeys the permission of the user who is executing the prompt, right? So that works in a perfect way. For data masking, sensitive data is detected. It is masked, as I said, before sending the prompt to LLM. Um, Data masking supports multiple languages and regions. Yeah, that's a good thing. And you can always select what information to mask and what information you want to skip. Then zero data retention policy. So no data is stored outside of Salesforce. You should take it as a guarantee. You can also score your toxicity, right? Which could be used at a later stage. So you can remove the toxicity, but at the later stage, you can also kind of understand, uh, why this was scored like this, and then you can improve the process. And then audit also you can do. Now with this, Mr. Mr. Pant, understand that Salesforce is pretty secure in terms of the sending the prompts as well as receiving a response with zero data retention, right? Pretty good. We can take some questions on it if required. Then the next thing would be um, data. I think that's a very important topic. Um, so Mr. Pant wants to know the importance of data, right? Now, because Kumar Pharma has done some form of AI, which did not work, unfortunately, but he already has an understanding that data is critical to AI, right? So data is essentially lifeblood when you talk about artificial intelligence. Um, why? Because with data, you must provide the information that is needed to train AI model to make predict accurate prediction, right? If you provide the wrong data, insufficient data, then AI is not going to give you the right results, right? So without data or without good quality data, AI system cannot learn or make informed decisions, right? Now, what are the general steps in data preparation? Yeah, when you prepare the data for AI, what are the different steps? So, data collection, and again, this is true for general AI as well as generational AI when we talk about Salesforce. So the process you follow typically are basically your data collection. It can be from different sources. It could be internal, it could be external, but you collect the data, you clean the data. So it's like a normal exercise. So when you implement, let's say when you implement Salesforce for a customer, and let's say this customer is not on Salesforce, the first time it's going on Salesforce, you collect data like accounts, contacts, maybe opportunities, leads, activities, maybe open opportunities, maybe open codes, and you basically take all these data, join this data, clean. If there's a need for transformation of data, you do that. But for AI, apart from these steps, you also have to remove kind of outliers. It's important to actually remove the outliers, because then the model will not behave um, in the right way. You might have to also do data augmentation if required. Now, if you see, when we talk about data, so data should be complete. Yeah, at least, let's say, um, when we talk about opportunity scoring, for example, or you are running AI on opportunity data, right? So you need complete data. And when I say complete data, what do you mean? So opportunity fields, for example, which accounts to it tie to, what is the opportunity stage, what is the close, if there is a close rate or not, amount field, and many other fields which basically make sense for opportunity scoring. And you can define which fields basically you add for opportunity score. Again, this is just an example for data. The data should be valid now, at the time of running of AI. It should not be very old, stale data that doesn't make sense. The data should be unique. It should be consistent. Again, as I said, outliers should be removed. It should be accurate data, and it is better that data should be available in large quantities. The large language model, or the models, the machine learning models, work best with large amount of data, because then you have a lot of history available based on which you can do the predictions, right? Now let's take some of the examples. So opportunity scoring, right? So for opportunity scoring also, you need to have a good quality data, right? So for example, certain opportunities, uh, amount on the opportunity in various stages. For example, you have to keep all the opportunities updated. Uh, at least update the critical fields, as I said, date, stage, amount, etc. Right? Add all the interactions on those opportunity. When typically opportunities goes through its life cycle, there's a lot of touch points, a lot of interactions, right? So you have to keep them in the system, and you can also say, okay, all the activities, all the events should be updated with the current status. If there are quotations created, at what stage those quotations are. So with this you will have good opportunity scores available, and it will also give you the reasons for those opportunity score. Same is also true for lead scoring. Another example would be again related to opportunity, because for sales, opportunity is the most important object. Again, if you want to summarize an opportunity, right? So you should have all the information available. So opportunity should be updated. Perhaps you also have all the activities that are updated, the account is updated, quotations, maybe other related objects, right? Then you can good a summary of opportunity for that particular point of time. Yeah, and with that you can basically write emails, or you can really summarize what is happening, at this point of time in opportunity, and then take the next steps. um, and as I said, you need to train your entire team with the importance of data. Yeah, so everything should be educated in terms of keeping the data up to date, keeping the data correct. Yeah, keeping the data unique. Yeah, so all those characteristics of data should be updated. But again, all the users, not only one or two users, which basically updates the data. This is more of a training which you have to provide to your team. um, Similarly, other examples could be product recommendations, right? So product recommendations could be created based on the order history and engagement data. If you use Einstein case classification, so you need to have at least 400 closed case in the last 6 months, right? And if the cases are not updated, then it will not provide the right classification, So with that, basically we understand the importance of data. Now, the other topic is, the next step is basically usage of the correct AI technology. And now, when we talk about usage of AI tools and technology, there are a lot of technologies available, right? But we will talk more from the perspective of CRM, sales specifically Salesforce. But how do you build custom AI solution, right? What is a typical process for developing AI model? So you process the data, you develop the model, basically train, tune, and evaluate. You deploy the model, and then you monitor, take feedback, and then basically you update the model again. Yeah. So what you have to do, so you need hardware and software to create models. You have to apply analytics, etc. Um, so there are two parts to it. One is the AI infrastructure itself. Yeah. So when you talk about AI infrastructure, you're talking about GPUs, graphic processing unit. You're talking about TPUs. You're talking about neural network processors. You're talking about HPCs. You're talking about cloud storage. You're talking about various tools for monitoring, maintenance, compliance, governance. Yeah, all those things are basically required. But in the case of Salesforce, you don't have to procure any hardware, right? AI hardware. You just need to procure the licenses, and you're good to go. Similarly, AI software. When you talk about custom AI solution, you're talking about machine learning softwares. You're talking about machine learning libraries. You are talking about programming languages like R. You're talking about data management tools, basically to for cleaning, sorting, processing your data for machine language model training. You're also talking about data analytics tool and tools for monitoring, right? So there are a lot of softwares involved. But in the case of Salesforce, you don't need all of these because you are already on Salesforce. This is already available. So in terms of the tech stack, when you talk about, so for Salesforce, you don't need to configure or maintain any AI related hardware. You just need to get the licenses. Now, what are the tools available for with when you use Salesforce AI, Einstein AI? So Einstein Copilot. So Einstein Copilot is essentially your tool for AI, right? And what with Einstein Copilot, there are a lot of standard actions available, right? So you enable Einstein Copilot, very easy. You assign the permission sets to your relevant user, for example, your pilot users. Um, then you use standard actions. So there are already many standard actions available. For example, draft or revise email. You can summarize record. You can query record. You can do an aggregate query. You can also answer questions with knowledge. So there are already customs actions available, and in every cloud, these more and more standard actions will be added. Um, but you can also create custom actions. And there are a lot of use cases for creating custom actions, right? So if you're using order management, you can ask Einstein and you have to create this custom actions. Yeah. So for getting the order details, for example, or booking sales meetings, or creating and modifying invoices, or checking inventory levels, or making product recommendations, right? So you can always create your own custom actions using Einstein Copilot, Copilot Builder. So with Einstein Copilot Builder, essentially you can create prompt templates. So basically you give your users like sales user or marketing user um, or service user, or commerce user, right? They use basically they create prompts, but you can create your own custom prompt templates, and those could be used within the custom prompt templates. You can use flows. So with Prompt Builder, you can create custom prompts, and you can use flows or invocable epics in to build the prompt templates. There's also a flow within Salesforce flow. One of the type of flow is also related to prompt templates, right? I think it's called prompt template capability triggered flow, something like that. That could also be used. Now, there are a lot of standard templates also available, right? So as I said, lead summary, context summary, deal summary, check-in, follow-up, sending the meeting invite, you want to introduce yourself, though those are already available. Now, there is something called Einstein Model Builder, which is used by Copilot. So there are three different, basically, and Salesforce platform, basically, with Salesforce platform, you can build, train, and deploy custom model, right? Which is, let's say, externally hosted, um, and you can use them in Salesforce. And there's three different ways actually which you can use the model. You can use shared Salesforce shared LLMs. You can also host third-party LLMs, for example, using Amazon. And you can also bring your own models. We are not going to go into detail about this. Salesforce already provides some good videos on YouTube, which you can go and see. Apart from that, data cloud, I think data cloud is very important. So with data cloud, basically, it's like a foundation for Salesforce AI, right? Um, so it can unify your data. So you can unify your enterprise level data sources, and it can create unique, personalized experience for you, right? Um, Also, recently, Salesforce has introduced zero copy architecture with provider like AWS, Snowflake, and also Data Cloud have like 200 plus connectors which you can use. So typical processes, you connect your data, you prepare your data basically through transformations, you harmonize data into a standard data model, you unify the data using data resolution rule set, and then you can use AI to predict behavior. Now that's an important part of data cloud, right? With data cloud, you can bring the data, unify the data, and then you can use this data also in Copilot, right? So if you have a data cloud connected and you have a different sources connected via data cloud and transformed into a standard data model, that data could be used by your Einstein Copilot also, which is very, very powerful actually to run your AI. Then you can segment your data. You can also analyze your data. There are a lot of analytics tools which are available, and you can output the data according to your business need to other systems and application, right? So data cloud, it's advisable to use data cloud along with Einstein. That would be a perfect way to basically have your generative AI running. Now, um, with that, now with that, Mr. CIO understand the architecture of Einstein, Einstein AI, right? This provides a good summary. This we have already covered. Now, the next step would be to create a roadmap and then do a rollout. Yeah. So you should always start small. Okay. There's a lot of pushback from customers in terms of usage of AI. Many customers are worried what will happen to the jobs also. For example, salespeople, marketing, specifically marketing people, AI is a tool, generative AI is a tool which kind of augment, right? Your process, which so that your people can focus on core tasks rather than creating uh, things which AI can automatically generate in 5 minutes. So what you have to do is to find the right people. So you have to educate people on AI and then find the right AI champions. And these AI champions are not coming from internally also, but it also includes your technical team like developers and architects and perhaps also testing. But mainly your people, your internally sales, service, marketing perhaps. In the case of Kumar Pharma, we have sales and service, so you have to find the AI champions. Now, you need to understand what are the skills required, what kind of profile are required. So prompt engineering is very important in the context here, right? So prompt engineering is a science, is an art, it takes some time to actually write good quality prompts. If you give good quality prompts, you will get good quality output, which is your response from the AI, right? So prompt engineering is very important. Take your time to teach people about prompt engineering. They can play around and see what works, what doesn't work. You can also create prompt templates uh, over a period of time and then basically give it to your people. So it should also have ability to learn and adapt, like Einstein features. As I said, a lot of new Einstein features are coming now and then. And when you roll this out, people should be able to also understand and use them. And they should have a positive attitude in terms of, adopting these Einstein features. They should have a good understanding of generative AI. So they don't necessarily need to understand the technical part, but they should understand what is generative AI. A lot of creativity would be used, and as I said, invest in data literacy. So with data literacy, basically you have to educate your people on data collection, preparation, exploration of the data, visualization, understanding data literacy, ethics, privacy. Everyone should actually understand this. For your technical teams, so basically developers and admin, Salesforce platform knowledge is required. Then Einstein AI for developer knowledge is required. Prompt engineering, Salesforce flows and Apex, APIs perhaps. Um, and for the people who are your advocates for AI, they should understand generative AI. They should have a lot of enthusiasm, right? They should have an ability to quickly learn new and adapt to new things, right? And they are the one who can provide trainings to your pilot groups initially. So in terms of the skills required, AI, generative AI, knowledge of AI tools and technology, prompts engineering, um, also ability to create the roadmap, general Salesforce knowledge, uh, data cloud, which is kind of nice to have, system integrations, optional, it's optional, but there are MuleSoft related AI use cases which could be used, right? And the process engineering. Um, so that's basically the find your AI champions. Now, important thing here is the pilot rollout, right? So once you have identified your AI advocates and you have identified a roadmap, then you are going to roll it out, right? So when you roll it out, and we are going to see a sample roadmap in the next slide. You also need to get the continuous feedbacks. This is no brainer. When you implement CRM, you do the same thing, and now you implement generative AI, you are doing the same thing. So you're getting continuous feedback, and then basically you are measuring success and then improving. Yeah, it's a iterative cycle. Now let's have a look at the sample roadmap. Um, so in the context of Kumar Pharma, sales and service, and they also have the developers, right? So you need to identify the use cases. As I said, start with the business process, start with the challenges related to business process steps, and then identified where you can basically use generative AI. You need a good quality data, and it's also a continuous cycle. Initially, you can clean the data, but you have to also update the data, maintain the data, right? On all those terms. You also have to establish a team, and then you have to release and monitor and do this again and again. So this is applicable for sales service and the developer um, stream. You can also create a center of excellence if you don't have, which basically creates the standards for AI. It also talks about the model governance, set up a governance committee for regulation of AI, and also do a AI quality review. Now, in terms of where to start, the first step is for most of the customers would be enable Einstein Copilot. So if you have the licenses available or you procure the license, the first step is to um, enable Einstein Copilot. It's very easy. It's plug and play. And then you basically provide the permission sets to a group of users which you have already identified, right? The initial recommendation would be, I mean, this is subject to discussion, what is best for your company, but sales summary is good, right? So if you are already using Salesforce, you already have opportunities, so you can create sales summaries. You can also generate emails, as I said, using large language models. So OpenAI ChatGPT 4 is available, and then Microsoft Azure is available, and there are also some upcoming LLMs. On the service side, work summary is pretty good. So it can generate the work summaries for your agents. You can also you can also create knowledge articles, but you can also create knowledge grounded email replies. Yeah, and we will take an example for that. Similarly, reply recommendation is also good. What should we reply based on the past data of cases you have? For developers, yeah, you can generate Apex code. It's not 100% proof as of now. It's still in beta, but you can generate the code, but still you need the developers to actually review the code. You can also autocomplete the code if you want. You can also generate the test classes, right? There are more use cases that are being adding up as we move forward. Now, just few examples. So, Einstein Copilot, as I said, is a conversational AI assistant built on the Salesforce interface. Companies can set up and launch Copilot for employees. Copilots can perform business tasks on behalf of the user in the Salesforce org. So, if it's see the screenshot on the right hand side, so this is basically Peter Mueller. Peter Mueller works with Kumar Pharma, for example. Just a demo screenshot. So he basically he says, okay, summarize grand hotel generator installation deal for me, and then basically based on the data available. Einstein basically created a summary, right? So Grand Hotel Generator installation has successfully completed an installation for this. The project value is this. It gives you the opportunity value. It also gives you a bridge up, upgrade opportunity, and then whatever information is available, right? So here we don't have a lot of data, but with good amount of data, you will see a good summary, which includes your account, opportunity information, upcoming, let's say activities, meetings, etc., and many more, many things more. Yeah. Let's take this another example, sales Einstein sales summary. This is again Einstein Copilot action. So sales email empowers busy sales rep to move quickly and expand deals through personalized emails. So it uses your sales data, existing sales data, to generate personalized emails for you for contacts and leads, a method known as grounding. Sales rep can draft common emails like a follow-up or meeting invite by choosing from a preset email prompt times, right? So in this case, for example, Abhishek Chauhan is a sales rep. It basically want to send an email to Bill, and then you can draft with Einstein. It will give you an opportunity to, let's say, draft an email, right? So it could be a check-in, it could be introduction email, it could be a follow-up, it could be a reconnect. It could be send a meeting invite, and then here you can also add products. That's pretty cool. That it can also basically look for the product and suggest a product description. And then basically next step is to generate this email. So you can generate the email. It's still a draft email. And then you can basically, if you want to change the email, you can do it manually, remove, add, whatever, or you can redraft it, right? Again, with Einstein by, let's say, modifying your prompt. And then, of course, you can send the email if you're happy. The next example is from Service Cloud. So Einstein reply recommendation, right? So Einstein reply recommendations, it offers agents a list of suggested replies in real time on messaging and chat platforms, right? So with recommended replies, um, basically you don't have to write replies. You can modify. So it will suggest you the replies. In this particular example, I want to return a pair of shoes that I recently bought from a store, right? Now, there's a conversation already started and you want to reply, but Einstein also on the right-hand side, as you can see, Einstein recommendation, there are recommendation available, which you can basically use. Yeah. So when you say post, it will basically fill up this information on the chat box, and then you basically post it and chat at the latest stage. Another one is Einstein article recommendation. Again, service. We are not talking about marketing here. We're talking about sales and service. And that's the reason I've kept the examples from sales and service. So Einstein article recommendation uses AI to recommend relevant knowledge articles on customer cases. So Einstein can search hundreds of articles. So over a period of time, you might have already created a lot of articles, right? That's the reason I'm saying the importance of data for AI, right? So Einstein can search hundreds of articles, perhaps thousands of articles in a matter of seconds, saving your agent's time and energy. Agents can then review Einstein list and attach an article to a case, right? So it is actually recommending you articles based on the past data. And you can also see a relevance here, 91%. So it says keep your laptops from overheating. This looks like an optimal article, right? So basically you can add this article here on the case. Now, in general, so I have given you some examples, but as I said already, there are more than 40 Einstein feature. Perhaps there are more. Salesforce can tell you that. Um, but in terms of Einstein AI feature, what is the typical process, right? When you do a bit of play around, then you will understand how it works. but you need to review your data requirements. For most of the cases, Salesforce will ask for reviewing of the data requirement. If data is not sufficient or data is not correct, then it will let you know. There are also accesses available which you can use to access your data or access your prerequisite for that Einstein feature. Second step, turn on Einstein feature, then build your model. Then when you're satisfied, review and publish. Then you give access to user on that Einstein feature and then activate the model, right? So in this case, for Einstein reply recommendation, review the data requirement, turn on Einstein reply recommendation, build your model, review and publish reply, give the agent access to Einstein reply recommendation, and then activate your model. That's the way it works. Okay, so there's a lot of information available. This is kind of a best practice, right? You can add more to it based on your experience so far, but um, these are the primary steps. So finding your AI response is very important. Um, Starting with the business process, put the AI into the right business context. Everyone should understand the ethical use of AI. Everyone should understand the data usage for AI, make it clean, how to ingest the data, and the ethical part of the data, right? Then you have to use the correct combination of AI tools and technologies. In the case of Salesforce, the tools that we explained today, those are pretty much the tools that are present currently available. You're not building up custom AI, right? You can always use custom AI models, but most cases you are not using custom AI. Find your AI champions, and then you do a pilot rollout, get continuous feedback, and measure success against the KPIs. Pretty much that makes Mr. Pant happy. So the CIO is happy. We have a strategy in place. Of course, when you do it in practical terms, there will be more to it, more details need to be added, but this looks like a reasonable approach for starting your generative AI. So if you like this video, you can also always subscribe to Architect Journeys. Architect Journeys is a channel that's basically for developers and architects, but it also provide content for your business users like sales, service, marketing. So here, as you can see, the content is published in a time duration. There are a lot of people who are contributing to this channel. You can find the good from expert. You can find the architecture videos here, but for specifically for generative AI, you can start with Salesforce Einstein AI. You can also you can also learn from the demos, right? So Einstein Copilot demos, and for developers, we are going to update the Salesforce Einstein for developers, right? So I learn Einstein, Salesforce Einstein. That's a very good playlist. It is regularly updated. Then all the demos are basically available on Einstein Copilot demos, and for Salesforce Einstein for the developers. With that, I would like to thank you so much for attending this session, and I hope we will bring more content to you. Thanks a lot.